Common errors in English with a, an, and the. Number 1. Do not use a or an with plural or uncountable nouns. For example, a fact is correct because fact is singular, but you can't say a facts because facts is plural. An information and an advice are also incorrect because information and advice are uncountable nouns. However, you can say a piece of information or a piece of advice. Don't say a pants, a glasses, or a scissors. You need to say a pair of pants, a pair of glasses, and a pair of scissors. Rice, butter, and ice are also uncountable, so you can't use the word a, but you can say a grain of rice, a stick of butter, and an ice cube. Number 2. Whether you use a or an follows the sound, not the letter of the next word. For example, we say a uniform because uniform starts with a y sound, but an umbrella because umbrella starts with an a sound, a vowel sound. We say a hat because hat starts with an h sound, but in the word hour, the h is silent, so we say an hour. We say a non-governmental organization when we say the full words, but when we abbreviate it, then we say an NGO. Why? Because the letter N starts with the vowel sound, an NGO. Number 3. Do not use a or an without a noun following it. For example, you can't say I am a Japanese because Japanese is an adjective and there is no noun in the sentence. Instead, you could say I am Japanese or I am a Japanese woman. In this case, it's okay to use a because there's a noun, woman, after the adjective Japanese. Here's another example. He is an intelligent. This is not possible because intelligent is an adjective and there is no noun. Instead, say he is intelligent or he is an intelligent man. The word the can be used for singular or plural and countable or uncountable for specific things, not for general things. For example, vegetables are good for you. That's vegetables in general, so we don't use the word the. But if you say, the vegetables at the market are always fresh, then we are talking about specific vegetables, the ones at the market, so we use the word the before vegetables. Here's another example. I need advice. That's advice in general. Any advice would be useful. But in the sentence, the advice you gave me was very helpful, now we're talking about some specific advice, the advice you gave me, so we put the word the before advice. Do not use the with continents, countries, with some exceptions, states, cities, or streets. So Asia, Paris, Europe, California, Russia, and Main Street do not include the word the. The exceptions are the United States, the United Kingdom, as well as their short forms, the US and the UK, the Philippines, the Czech Republic, the Marshall Islands, and one more I didn't have room for, the Central African Republic. Do not use the with companies and universities, again, with some exceptions. The companies Samsung and Microsoft, and the universities Harvard, Hamilton College, and New York University do not use the word the. Only use the if the university name starts with the word university, as in the case of the University of Pennsylvania. Do not use the for languages and holidays like Spanish, Italian, Christmas, New Year's Day, or Independence Day. Now, with other places it's a little tricky. Don't use the with individual lakes or mountains like Mount Everest, Pikes Peak, or Lake Ontario. Use the with oceans, rivers, valleys, deserts, and mountain ranges. That's groups of mountains. For example, the Pacific Ocean, the Amazon River, the San Fernando Valley, the Sahara Desert, and the Rocky Mountains, as well as with specific points on the globe, like the North Pole, the South Pole, and the equator. What about some places that aren't proper nouns? Don't use the in these sentences. I'm going home. She's at work. He's in jail. We attend church. My kids went to bed. My sister's in high school. My brother's in college. But you need to use the with these places. I went to the bank. Let's go to the movies. He's at the office. The office meaning his place of work. I'll stop by the post office. My dad's in the hospital. I got a taxi to the airport. We're at the train station, or we're at the bus stop. We took my son to the doctor, or the dentist. Thanks for watching. For more lessons, check out the English tips, ebooks, and courses at espressoenglish.net.
How to pass the civil service exam. Many countries require citizens to pass a civil service exam in order to obtain jobs in public service. There is no standardized exam, although no matter where you are, the exam procedures are fairly similar. To pass the test, you need to meet the application requirements and show that you are proficient in subjects related to civil service work, such as math and language skills. Give yourself plenty of time to prepare and you may find the test to be easier than you expect. Applying for the exam. Watch for exam testing dates on your government's website. The exam can be administered through your city, state, or national government. Depending on where you are located, the test may be given out as infrequently as once or twice a year. These testing dates are posted online by the government administration responsible for the test. If you live in the U.S., for instance, cities and states post job titles online. You take the test after you apply for the job title. Countries like the Philippines and China have overall service tests administered at set times throughout the year. If you live in the U.S., for instance, cities and states post job titles online. You take the test after you apply for the job title. Countries like the Philippines and China have overall service tests administered at set times throughout the year. Become a resident in the testing district if it is required. No matter what test you take, you have to be a legal resident of your country. If you immigrated to your country, you may be able to take the exam after obtaining legal permission to live there permanently, such as by getting a green card in the U.S. Keep in mind that you may need to relocate if you pass the test and get a job offer. For state service exams, you typically need to live in the state. For city tests, you may not have to move into the city's jurisdiction until 6 months after you obtain a civil service job. For state service exams, you typically need to live in the state. For city tests, you may not have to move into the city's jurisdiction until 6 months after you obtain a civil service job. Review any education and experience requirements for the exam. Most civil service exams are open to anyone over the age of 18, regardless of education. For exams that cover specific jobs, you may be required to have educational or field experience. These requirements will be listed online along with the job postings, so read the details carefully before applying. For example, to be a parole officer, you might need a year of experience or an associate's degree in law enforcement. City-run exams are all different, so the requirements differ from place to place. For example, to be a parole officer, you might need a year of experience or an associate's degree in law enforcement. City-run exams are all different, so the requirements differ from place to place. Submit copies of transcripts and other required documents. Any requirements you need to apply for your exam are listed online. Official documents are often needed when taking exams for specific jobs. The testing administration may ask for your school transcript to prove educational requirements, as well as any licenses and certifications needed to perform the job. For example, if driving a truck is part of the job covered by the exam, the government will want to see your driving credentials. National exams, like those given in the Philippines and China, do not require any certification and are open to any applicant. For example, if driving a truck is part of the job covered by the exam, the government will want to see your driving credentials. National exams, like those given in the Philippines and China, do not require any certification and are open to any applicant. Return the application to the government. This can usually be done online. Visit your government's website, select the test you want, then fill out the application provided. You may also be able to return the application in person to a government facility. Then, wait to receive notification of the testing date. Some civil service exams are competitive and receive lots of applications. Submit your application as soon as possible to ensure you get a testing spot. You will hear about the testing date after the application deadline closes. Watch your mail for more information if the dates aren't posted online. Some civil service exams are competitive and receive lots of applications. Submit your application as soon as possible to ensure you get a testing spot. You will hear about the testing date after the application deadline closes. Watch your mail for more information if the dates aren't posted online. Pay the fee when you turn in your application. You will be asked to cover the fee when you submit your application. Expect the fee to be around $15 USD, although this varies from test to test. Pay online using a credit or debit card, or send a check or money order to the testing facility. If you are a veteran or receive public assistance, you may not have to pay the fee. Submit any award letters with your application. If you are a veteran or receive public assistance, you may not have to pay the fee. Submit any award letters with your application.